picked up a stray Joe.
Hello.
Look at the American flag. So we are riding to sign on and maybe see the beginning of the course. You excited? We've only been greeted with kindness and generosity thus far. I think we're gonna race. I'm really hot.
Well, good, thanks.
Bike fixed. Thank you.
Made a hole.
So it has thunderstormed a lot, / rained a lot. How are you feeling about the weather in the mud, Joe?
Oh, not best impressed. In fact, not impressed at all.
Not impressed. That's quite a nice fit. What's our dinner? Chicken and rice. So it's the night before Unbound. We're gonna go brush our teeth. Oh! You can see what just happened. I just stood in a huge ditch of water.
You're so silly.
I'm so silly. So we're a little bit worried that it's going to be really, really mucky tomorrow.
I have come from cross, and riding 200k in mud will not be fun, I can tell you that.
But also nervous about the heat at the same time. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's like you're going to be too hot, and then it's going to chuck it down, and you're probably going to get a bit cold. Then you're going to get muddy, and then you're hopefully going to dry out.
And by this point, you're probably dehydrated and you're throwing up.
Rice with yogurt, strawberries and jam. Guys, are you happy?
No.
Amira is having a really classy breakfast in bed of what? Oats and jam.
It's 4 AM. It's very early and I'm so nervous.
I think it's very nice. Really good.
So the race started off pretty punchy. I think even though it was a 205-mile race, girls were like really wanting to get into a good position, like going into that first gravel section. And at the time I was thinking, come on, this is like 200 plus miles. I don't need to be pushing for position, and just was a bit too lax and was sitting on the back of the group, and actually ended up probably working way too hard than I needed to be, and could have been like coasting in wheels in the bunch a lot more comfortably. And actually that meant at about 12 kilometers in, there were girls in front who lost contact with the wheels, and that meant that just that split second of like not being in the right position, I was suddenly off the bunch, and Amira was as well, and both of us were with like a little group, and it was way too much effort for us to get back on, especially considering like the distance we'd still have to cover. We're in this headwind, we're not going to see that bunch again. And at that point Amira really wasn't feeling very well, so turned to me and was like, I'm just gonna have to stop, like I'm not feeling well. So she pulled over, and then we came into the mud zone. This can only be described as absolute chaos. Like it was a 3-mile stretch of varying degrees of like cementy mud, and as I hit it, my wheels just stopped completely, and everything was clogged up. And I decided to use 45 and 47 tires to like stop myself from puncturing, but you know, there's no point stopping yourself from puncturing if it means you've got no clearance for mud. There was literally no clearance for any of this mud, and the mud just got absolutely caked in, and everyone was pulling out like these mud sticks and like pulling the mud out, and I'd actually just before the race stuck a plastic knife in my pocket just in case, and I was having to use this plastic knife to get the mud out. But honestly, in that 3-mile section, I had almost every mechanical apart from a puncture that one could have. Like I lost my chain 3 times. I had to stop so many times. I probably stopped upwards of 10 times. My handlebars twisted in the mud. I had like every problem under the sun in that section, and was like carrying my bike most. This is character building. This is what this is. I kind of wish I'd just got off straight away or just ridden on the grass straight away and carried my bike. I've got like bruises on my hip and my shoulder from carrying it for so long. That section, 3 miles, took me, I think it was between 50 minutes and an hour, looking at my like file afterwards, which is just insane. So I lost contact with any of the race basically. There were definitely a lot of people like extremely affected. I know a lot of people scratched at that point because they broke bits of their bikes. I was way too far back. And then in response, I was like, right, I just need to push on. I need to keep pushing. But I didn't properly clear my bike of mud. So my jockey wheels were completely clogged up with this like cementy mud that was definitely holding me back a bit because I felt like I was pushing out decent power, but I honestly was not moving. So yeah, I just felt so slow and my legs didn't feel amazing. And I think given the prep as well, it kind of makes sense that like both Mira and I weren't feeling great. Yeah, I rolled pretty much on my own for a long time. Like there were various points where I rode with a few people, came into the first like proper supported feed. And at this point I was so hot. It was so hot and humid and I just felt like my breathing wasn't the same as normal. Like I could feel like my chest was a bit struggling with the humidity and the heat. And I was so sweaty. I'd started throwing up at about 80k in, so similarly to Tracker, my stomach was playing up. And because I wasn't fighting for like a podium position, I couldn't push myself mentally to like keep pushing physically that hard because I was like, it's not really worth it. I've got big races coming up. It's not worth me making myself more ill and throw up more if I can just ease off the pace a bit and let my stomach recover. So I eased off and then my target became, right, you've just got to finish this race. Like this has been a pretty tribulating day, like pretty hard work. And the new target became, just get to the end. Unsupported, I found a couple of girls I knew and we were all like, let's just ride together. And then the skies turned dark and scary and there was lightning and thunder and rain. And I have to say, I actually was very thankful for the rain. I wasn't thankful for the lightning and the thunder, that was a bit scary, but the rain was so good because I was so hot. Actually, the second supported feed, like there was a miscommunication with my support crew and there wasn't someone there for me, or I didn't find the people who were there for me. And then I actually had so many offers. It was so lovely to see. Like I had so many people like screaming to help me when I looked lost, being like, let us help you, let us sort you out. And I went to the scratch team and they like fully like military style food, like product bottles, like sorted me out, got me moving again. They gave me like this rice cake that was like bacon and egg that was actually really delicious. Gave me a slice of pizza. I was like, thank you. It's like, all I need. They were like, what do you want? All I need is salt. Just give me salt. Gave me a slice of pizza, which I was very thankful for. And yeah, I had to take a trip to the Portaloo because my stomach was in pieces. And this is something that I've definitely realised I actually need to sort out and address now because I can't keep having stomach issues in races like this. Like from that last feed, found some company for the last bit and then made it to the finish. And I made it to the finish a lot later than I was hoping to make it to the finish originally. The atmosphere was absolutely insane. Like rolling into that finish with people cheering was unbelievable.
Next up we've got Jessie Bonona and Madeline Nutt. Great job, Jessie and Madeline.
And yeah, seeing everyone at the end as well was just so nice. Like all the like Ribble Collective guys were there at the finish to like see me, and that felt so good.
That was honestly.
I wasn't actually particularly disappointed because it was so brutal that for me a finish was a success, and it's just inspired me further because looking at the start list or like the finishers list for the women, like the pro women, I was one of the youngest. I think I was like second or third youngest out of the whole field, And at 25 years old, that's pretty surprising, but gravel endurance seems to definitely be something that you get better at with age, because I think there was only one girl in the top 10 that was under 30, which is pretty impressive, which was my friend Danny. Yeah, I think overall I'm just inspired now to push harder, train harder, and hopefully come back, hit it a bit better with the experience, knowledge, everything gained from this year. Hopefully it's dry next year, but yeah, really give it a good go next year.
Rise and shine. You said let's sing the morning song. Good morning.
The toaster.
Brioche bread.
Hi.
She's got the camper. Handcrafted in small batches. It's not a small batch. What did you both get?
I got one of them yesterday.
What is the final stop on our American road trip? How excited are you?
10 out of 10.